Future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. Albert Einstein. He said that decades and decades ago. Well, the future is here. The future is now. Hey guys, Sajady here. Can I share something personal with you? You know, through the decade that I've been doing XI and becoming a master teacher with exponential intelligence, you know, the journey's been amazing. Right? It's been fantastic. A lot of you have come with. You've seen the changes in me. You've seen the changes and transformations in XI. Right? You've seen the changes in you, your loved ones, and all that. Before it was magic, right? And just like any science, it's miracles at first, right? And then we start to understand the science behind it. Well, we're at the level that people need to know the science behind it. Well, how do we do that, right? Well, with your help. So all of you that have transformed, sometimes some of you, maybe days or maybe months, when I say that to the scientific community, they don't believe it. I'm reaching out for help. I'm asking you, you've transformed. Write down specific, get some documented evidence, whether it's pictures, before and after pictures. Some of you, especially if your eye color has changed, your facial structure has changed, your body structure has changed, your hair has come back, whatever, that's happened to you. Again, document it, lab tests, medical results, whatever that you can share with us. And we're not going to use, obviously, your specific name, so don't worry about that. I'd love to have you join me in this mission. I want to thank you for helping me and the world go to a higher level of consciousness. I can't hear. So can you just turn it up a little bit? Yeah. Oh, we're live now? Oh, hey guys, Sajady here. Welcome to Mas on Sunday, where we where we explain life from a very, very different perspective. Obviously, many of you who call had 3 near-death experiences now. I'm getting some feedback, Demi. So can you mute that? Alrighty. So anyway, back to my story here. This is going to be an exciting one as well. But anyway, after the 3 near deaths, again, you see things from a very, very different perspective, right? So now you don't have to have a near-death experience to see things from a very, very different perspective. That's what exponential intelligence is, really about, right? To see things from a much, much higher level and kind of look down on, say, what we're doing, what the hell's going on, so we don't keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Unfortunately, the world doesn't or isn't exponentially intelligent, and that's why, well, I'm talking about the root cause of poverty. Again, what we talk about here on Moss on Sundays is first principles explanations on why shit happens the way they do. It's not about, well, we need more money, or the UN needs to do X, or the religions need to do this. If only they practiced a specific religion, we'd all be good. Because that's all bullshit. That's just straight out bullshit. Because, and again, for those, I might get some people pissed off and all that. But you know what? Look at the world. Look at your religions. Look at your political systems. Look at your ideologies. Look at look at philanthropy. Look at your mission trip. Look at all those do-gooders out there. And again, no offense against do-gooders out there. I'm a do-gooder, but we do it from a very, very different perspective. Okay. And that's really the key. And it's like, so what is that different perspective? What's the difference? Is it what you're doing? No, it's not what I'm doing. Is it how we're doing it? No, it's not about how we're doing it. It is literally about the consciousness level, the awakened level that you are at. So no matter what you're doing, you start to awaken people, and I'll give you the science behind that. I just want to explain first principles definitions. First principles definitions is a science or a physics term. Is basically, and again, most scientists don't even know about it or understand it the way I do. Is that what happens? Is that if, to put it simply, first principles is the top level solution or the highest level, say, answer that you can get for a problem. Simple as that. Okay. Most individuals, again, they go to the top level of their consciousness. Well, that's not the top level solution. So how do you know if you're operating at a first principles solution, or if you're a scientist operating at a first principles solution for whatever you're trying to invent or for whatever you're trying to cure, or if you're, say, a philanthropist, or somebody that wants to, say, um, better the environment through green products and so on, like that. First principles, right? Is there exceptions to the rule? If there's exceptions to the rule, you're not at a first principle level, straight out. So, for example, the again, do-gooders. No offense, not knocking you down, but do-gooders, right? They drive electric cars. That's really fucking fantastic. That's fantastic. But it makes you feel good, but you plug it into an electrical outlet. That electrical outlet is generated by probably a coal burning plant or some other plant that's polluting. So you're just exchanging energy sources. You're not helping the planet any. Again, no offense against green energies and all those things. Solar would be cool. Maybe hydrogen. Maybe there's another. I don't know why I'm talking about energy. Maybe there's people about energy here. There's another solution that'll come out, and it's not about fusion or fission. It's the way the sun works. It's a little different, but I don't want to talk about it here. If you're interested, though, connect with me on what that is. It's a really cool energy source. But back to the root cause of poverty. I don't know how I got sidetracked, but I'm just giving you examples, okay, on shit, those kind of things that think that we're helping the planet and so on, like that. It's probably not working. Recycling. Recycling is really, really fantastic. But if you look at nature, for example, nature shit creates a lot of garbage. I mean, it creates fantastic amounts of garbage. Look at a volcanic eruption. Look at what nature goes through, right? Look at the leaves every fall. Shit, that's a lot of garbage and all that. But the key thing, and this is a first principles level nature works on, it's not the level or the amount of garbage it produces. It's about how it, say, recycles it. Nature is the perfect recycling plant. Are we? We try to recycle plastics and so on, like that. But again, we need different materials. And in the near future, we'll have different materials that actually will decompose, degrade, and enrich our soils and enrich us, not destroy us. And that's really the key. The oceans, so much plastics that it would take tens of thousands of years to, well, get rid of or decompose. So that's the key, right? We need like those types of solutions to really help our planet. And those solutions, by the way, are coming out in the next, say, few years. You'll see a lot of technologies, hopefully from many of you that are exponentially intelligent, because you'd have to be exponentially intelligent to, say, ascend to those higher levels of understanding of, oh, shit, that's how nature works. You'd have to be at the level. Nature is here. Humans are way down here. We'd have to be at this level to see and understand how nature works, how we actually work. This is where new technologies come in on, say, saving human lives, where we don't have to get sick. Right now, the medical technologies is about what? Saving people, replacing parts, giving you medicine that keep you going, kind of like a Band-Aid or duct tape for your health. We're aging the way we shouldn't be, and so on, like that. So why am I talking about this, about the root cause of poverty? Because the root cause of all those things that I talk about is that we're all poverty driven in consciousness, and I've talked about it before, to the higher level individuals in XI, in other higher events that we do, like quantum jumping and so on, like that. The one we did, for example, in London at the Science Museum, we got into the deeper science on how we could literally transform the world properly. So why am I talking about it on, say, on a Mass on Sunday? Why poverty still exists? Because we're still in that consciousness that dictates that we run from lack, uh, sacrifice, and control. Those three ingredients, no matter what you do, will always be in your life. Okay. So we're here as humans, 8.7 billion individuals, and billions more that have died before us. They all ran in that consciousness. They all operated or were controlled by that consciousness. That's a that identity of who they are, and they always ran from those three ingredients. If you're running from those three ingredients, no matter what you bring into, say, this house or into this reality, or more precisely into this consciousness, you will be, say, stricken with poverty. Okay, all of us. And that's really the key, and that's what's happening to us now. But by the way, the great divide that I'm going to be talking about coming up actually December 30th, where we literally push people into a higher level, and that's what's happening in the world. Whether people are awakened or not, there's a lot of shit breaking down. Many of you, again, connect. Talk about it. You see the world breaking down. You see the financial systems breaking down, religion systems breaking down, all those things. What are we doing? We're being forced to look at ourselves from a higher level, the actual level, a better version of who we really are, right? We're really forced to look at it from that level. So whether we go there or not, it's really up to us. There's going to be a lot of individuals who go towards that higher level and start to create a whole new destiny for humanity. Those individuals who don't, well, they just start to perish after time. It's kind of like a software update or software upgrade, right? If you refuse to get upgraded or updated with your software, well, that software isn't going to be supported. Your system, the way you run, the way you render yourself here in space-time, it's not going to be supported by the new consciousness. Simple as that. Okay. And then you eventually say crossover. So you'll see a lot of crossover. It is what it is, unfortunately. All right. So let's take a deep breath in because this is an experiential experience for you. And we'll start to say, kind of find not just the root cause of, say, humanity's consciousness, or, what I saw in Africa, or I didn't have to go to Africa. I could go to San Francisco, or I could go to, LA or New York and see the homeless, and the key is in Africa, they weren't homeless. These people were. Why is that? Right. So I'll talk about that. So a lot of things we're going to be talking about. One, why the rich are no better off than the poor. Two, what really causes poverty. Three, why helping the way we have been, like, mission trips, philanthropy, and all that isn't really working out well for us. It's actually binding those individuals that you're helping. Okay. And I'll give you real life examples on what that is. And I know I'm offending a lot of people, which is good, because if you're offended, then you should look inside yourself and go, why am I being offended? Okay. Maybe there's some insecurities about you. Maybe there's some shadows, or maybe there's some weaknesses in you that you need to transform or change. Again, if your life isn't going the way it is, you need to look at something else. And sometimes that something else might offend you. Okay. And then what was the different about our group that went to Africa that really, say, helped change those young individuals that we connected with? It was a powerful experience for all those. It was a powerful experience, not just for our group, okay, but for those kids that saw and listened or heard our group. It was so powerful that the governor, his name is pretty cool, Simba, of that province, I don't know, province of Kenya, really called us up. It's like, hey, we'd like to meet you all, because that's how powerful it is. Now, there's so many mission trips. There's so many people that go out there. In fact, Bill Gates was there, and I think he actually wanted to see us more than Bill Gates. And I'll talk about that in just a second as well. It's like, damn, I wish but so he had to juggle his schedule to come see us. And we hung out there, in the governor's mansion for, I don't know, a couple of hours just hanging out. It's like, hey, welcome, thanks, bye. You know what I mean? It's that cordial stuff. But this guy really wanted to understand, what it's all about. He had that heart. And there's new political people, new politicians coming out that really have that heart, which is really cool. So in the future, hopefully in this country as well, we'll have real, say, politicians that really want to help. Okay, they're not sucked into, that paradigm. All right, so one, I'm just going to share a little experience, and D, if you want to put some pictures up of what we saw up there. It might not coincide because I can't see what D is putting up, but some beautiful experiences. One of the most, say, experiential experiences that I've had. I had my son Alex and his fiance there with me as well, including Feifei, obviously. So the four of us plus this other group, we spoke. We spoke at Nairobi University, Nairobi Polytechnics. Yeah. And then the best one was we spoke at an elementary school. That, they heard that they heard that we were speaking. And it's like, no, come speak with us. Come speak with us. It was really fantastic. And that was really the best experience. I think they were like ninth grade, and it was an all girls school. But as we went through those experiences, you could see the difference between the vibrancy of youth, the vibrancy of what I talk about, the vibrancy of being exponentially intelligent. The older that we get, we start to, say, lose that vibrancy of life. We start to come into a consciousness that is limited. Again, we start to come into a consciousness that has those three ingredients. Again, lack, control, and sacrifice. Okay, we always have to do that. If you don't think so, look at anything that you've done. Look at anything that you are going to do, and it'll have any of those three ingredients, different proportions, but it'll have at least one of those ingredients in anything that you do, no matter how, say, blessed or heartfelt it is. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in again. So I want to. So we went to the colleges, but I want to give you a different flavor, a different point of view. How most people, they go out there and they help, and they go, oh, it's the most beautiful experience. It really felt like we felt. It really felt like we helped them, and so on like that. My life changed, and so on like that. That's the kind of things you hear, right? That's the mission trips that people go on, right? They come back home and they're more connected to themselves. They're more gosh, now I'm forgetting the word. They're not as spoiled, they're more thankful, which is literally a slippery slope, right? It's like, gosh, those people are, they don't have anything, they live in shanties, or they live in all this. I better be thankful. Okay, you might want to write this down. I better be thankful for what I have. Okay, it's not a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Okay, I'm grateful for what I have. You should be grateful. And then those people, they go back to their kids, or they take their kids. They take their kids, to Ethiopia and so on like that. And I remember my ex doing that. It wasn't a good thing for the kids, not at all. And I've worked on those kids. I've worked on actually dozens of kids that have gone on, say, those religious trips. Not going to mention the religion, but they've come back and they've gotten really fucked up. Several reasons for that I won't get to in this show. But why isn't it good? Okay, because it's like we're doing good. We're going and donating food. We're donating money. Bill Gates is donating grains, or I'm sure. And that's another thing, by the way. Another side note. Um, um, take a breath in. I like to speak in different, say, aspects, so it's not a linear progression for you, because you don't learn that way. So if you don't like the way I speak, sorry, but you actually learn and grow from that. I'm actually trying to expand your brain. Okay, so I open up, say, different, say, concepts, and then I'll close them up at the end for you. So don't worry about that. But actually, I'm expanding, say, the way you process information. Your brain is naturally built to hold several concepts and ideas at the same time. All right. But in schooling, especially in the US, here in the UK, and so on, it's a linear progression. And this is where we get our kids dumbed down. All right. So What was I going to say? Oh, a side thought. The food in Africa that I thought it wasn't that great. I'm sensitive to genetic GMOs. All the shit that we just transported over to Africa is really fucking them up. You know, they're not used to the genetically modified foods. So some of those people that I tapped into, it's like, gosh, they're really really sick. It's like, why are they sick? Why are they say their bodies are say morphed into something that well it shouldn't be? Just like people here in the U.S. because they're genetically modified wheats and corns and all that stuff that we like shipped over as a donation. It's like, here, this is really good food for you, and it's not, because they're not used to it. They're not used to all the junk food from the 40s and 50s and 60s. They're used to like perfect foods, non-GMOs. And then, as a gesture, and as an appreciation, what do? We transport, tons of grains and so on like that are genetically modified, and it's fucking them up. It really is it's slowing down, it's dumbing down, it's dumbing down the kids that are there. It's literally numbing them. Somebody says a dog wouldn't even eat it. That's true. And that's what we're doing. So yeah, it sounds like we're doing something good, like we're providing food, but it's not the food that they should eat. It's not in their culture, by the way. That makes sense to you. So the food for me was, again, I'm sensitive to GMOs. Wasn't that great for me? Real African food. When we went out to some, restaurants that was real African food, that was good stuff. Not talking about the African cuisine. That's good stuff. But again, the actual food that the thing was processed from was that fantastic. So that's one key. Do you see how that works? Oh, we're helping these individuals, right? But then we're actually destroying them. Those individuals who say the mission trips, who like donate clothes to them. Well, you're fucking hurting their economy. Do you guys remember what was it? Was it Tom's shoes and so on? Right? They donate a pair. Well, when they're donating a pair and we're buying millions and it makes us feel good, logistically, what are we doing? We're donating a pair that was made somewhere out of Africa, right? Pair of shoes. We're fucking up their economies. We're destroying the businesses that are making shoes and all the products that go into making shoes. Do you see how that kind of works? Again, we are kind-hearted, right? We're very kind-hearted. It's like, we'll donate our clothes, we'll donate all that stuff. But when you do that, their economies go bust. And then they're trying to do something, but it's like, well, if we're providing clothes for them, what are the manufacturers going to do, right? So instead, I wouldn't give them money, okay? Because that's what I saw as well. They're conditioned, and this is what I saw overall, even the youngest kids, they're conditioned for a handout. That's all we've done. We literally have conditioned them for a handout. I saw them at a ninth grade level. I saw them at a school where we helped out build a, we, my son and I, Alex, we helped, literally got in there, we helped him, put up a metal gate. Alex was welding. I put some brick and mortar. And it's like that kind of help, because we weren't doing it for, oh, they're poor. Oh, they're weaker than us. They're whatever, the way we helped, and I'll get into that. The way we helped was very, very different. And not just, us, my son and I, and Faye, and Cass, but then other individuals that were in the group. I'll explain the reason why we were different, so different. But I want to just get back into, say, the mission trips and so on like that, right? What we do is what we do is what we start to create, like an identity. We start to program things, just like Pavlov's dog, of, hey, we need a handout. Every kid there that we saw, it's like, hey, when are you coming back? When are you going to help us? We need money. Literally, that's what their message is, and that's what they've been, say, trained by probably their teachers, that these white people are going to come, and they're going to help us out, right? So what do? If you're waiting for help, what happens to you? Nothing. You're just waiting for help. Same thing with you all, right? And that's why XI is really tough for some of you. It's like, because you're waiting for a handout. You're waiting for me to go, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pick you up and carry you. And you know that thing where, you know, that famous poem, you know, there's like sand, there's God, you know, God and whoever walking on the beach, and there's two footsteps, and then it's like, God, in times of trouble, you know, in times of trouble, you know, you didn't show up. And then that thing is like, well, son, that's when I was carrying you. You don't want to carry anybody. You really don't. God doesn't carry you. God will just keep you there. Um, and it's like, hey, you know, you got to start to learn. You got to start to come up. You got to start to understand who you really are, the grandness that you are. You forgot to who you are. So that footprint thing, yeah, it feels really good. Oh, God's carrying me. But then what happens to you? You fucking grow weak. Look at your children, right? You do everything for your kids. What do? They start growing weak. You open up a caterpillar, you know, the caterpillar, the cocoon, right? You open it up for that butterfly. That butterfly never will fucking fly for. And that's what we're doing to our kids. That's what we're doing to, you know, philanthropy. That's what we're doing to, like, in everything in this reality. The government is doing it to the masses. Every government here is like, you're too stupid to figure shit out. We're going to tell you what to do. So on the news, on the news, you know, just when I was working out, you know, they have tons of screens of TV. On the news, the reporter was telling you how to shop efficiently so you don't get stressed out. I mean, you know, we're getting to that point that just shopping is going to stress you out. Holy shit. Those kind of people should not be in XI, should not take any of the programs or so on, because you're going to get stressed out, because you're going to find all the weaknesses, and that's what real strength comes in. When you start to notice all the weaknesses that you are, that's what's really, really important. That was the difference between us, our group that came to Africa and spoke, and any other group that was there. There are other philanthropists, again, Bill Gates, I'm sure, pouring billions of dollars. For some reason, he's not just doing it because he's got a kind heart. I'm sure there's some ulterior motive. But again, the difference between what our group was and what they did was that we came in and we didn't see color. We None of us in that group saw color. We didn't see them as, you know, a handout. We didn't see them as, you know, something poor, or somebody that you know, needed help, although they needed help. But again, there's a difference, and I'll explain that right now. The difference is that we saw them as, hey, you know what? We're brilliant beings. This is the way we saw them. We're not lucky. We worked our asses off to get to where we are. Okay. All of those individuals that were on there, really fantastic leaders. And here, we're here to help you remember that you're brilliant beings as well. You need to, like, awaken and get rid of the shit that has burdened your country and your culture and your color for, you know, thousands and thousands of years. That was the difference in our group. We started to awaken them. We started to awaken them to the fact that it's like, wait a second, we're just like you. And you could see it in the kids' eyes. You know, the younger the better, by the way. You know, the younger kids, ninth graders, and then even the younger kids there, it's like, oh my God, you know, that is me. I can do stuff. You know, Alex was showing them some tricks and stuff like that, you know, some parkour. And it's like, wow, they never thought of anything to do. You know, they never thought of anything like that. And they got really, really confident in, say, what they were doing or what we were doing, because we brought in their higher version of who they are. We brought in, say, possibilities of what they could be. Okay. And it was really a beautiful, heart-touching experience for all of us, because we started to see, again, within, say, like minutes, when we walked in, they started to go, wow, that's us. That's what we could be. And that's really the key. That's the difference. The rich are no better off than the poor over here, because they've lost the possibilities of who they are. I know, you know, we all aspire to be, you know, we see some guy in a Lamborghini, you know, pulling up in a restaurant. and we go, gosh, damn, I want to be that individual, right? Or we see a famous actress or an actor, right? It's like, damn, I wish I had their life. We all aspire to that, right? Billions around the world aspire to that. I work with those individuals. They're not happy. They're fucked up. They're more fucked up probably than, say, people who don't have money and who don't have success. People who don't have success have one thing though. They have that thread, or they have that possibility of hope. Those individuals that are wealthy and not happy because it's lonely at the top, right? They got nowhere else to go. That's the same thing here. America, the UK, and all those other wealthy countries, they've got nowhere else to go. They've crossed the finish line. They've got all the latest technologies, whatever that's out there. And look at us. There are so many individuals, millions and millions of individuals who are on, say, psychotic type drugs, antidepressants, and so on like that, or addicted to something here in the US alone. Why is that? Because they're not happy. Money's not doing it. What are we doing to, the poor people? We're throwing money at them. They don't need money. In fact, if they didn't have money, if there was no, say, reference point between, say, our standard of living and their standard of living, if they didn't know the difference of what could be, they would not be in poverty. They wouldn't. But they're trying to recreate what, let's just say the West. They're trying to recreate, say, the lifestyle of the West. It doesn't work out for them. If it wasn't for that recreation or trying to get to that point, again, they would not be in poverty. I've gone into the jungle, in tribes, and you might go there. Gosh, these guys live in squalor and so on like that. No, they're living pretty good. They're fucking happy. They're amazing. They were healthy. Those 70-year-olds, they look better than the 40-year-olds that are here in the US. So again, what's your comparison of poverty? Like I said, the rich are no better off than the poor anywhere in the world. Why? Because it's not about what we have. It's not about how much you can accumulate in this reality, right? The Egyptian kings tried to figure out that, but they couldn't. So they literally sold themselves, right? It's like, here's a ton of gold so I can be promised to be on the other side at a higher level, right? Obviously that shit doesn't work out, but that's what we're trying to do. It's like, the wealthier we get, the more of a promise that we have that we're going to be ascended on the other side. You're not, because you're not ascended on this side. That's what dictates if you're better off on the other side. That's what dictates if you're better off on this side. Okay. And again, I'll say that again. It dictates if you're better off on the other side, if you're better off on this side. So take a deep breath in, and we'll start to, say, release some of that poverty that's in our blood. That's in our, say, genetic pattern. Breath in again. When we start to see philanthropy, for example, I just want to go back to that. People who are super super wealthy, right? They start doing philanthropy. Why is that? Because they start to see the void that are within them. Simple as that. They go, yeah, I've got a good life and so on like that. I want to help other people, but from the people that I've spoken to, from the people that I've tapped into, because I can analyze anybody, dead or alive. I can see their master blueprint. What they're actually trying to do is like, shit. You know what? I've got everything, and I'm still fucking empty and lonely. I'm gonna go help people. Is that what people do? Even if you're not, say, a super wealthy individual or a billionaire that's going to start some kind of foundation or something, right? What do? What have we been trained to do? Like, you're feeling sad for yourself, go help somebody else. That's what we're doing. Our lives suck no matter what level of technology and, say, luxury that we have. So we'll go help somebody else. It makes us feel better. Number two problem, right? The number one problem is what?
I even forgot myself. Number one problem is that, we are grateful for what we have. Okay. It's the number one problem. Number two problem is like, shit, you know what? My life is empty. I've got everything. I'm going to go help. That's a number two problem. And towards the end here, in just a few minutes, I'll explain all that. So again, that's not where it helps. So what happens is that you are trying to fulfill yourself. You have to help more and more people, right? There's foundations, there's people, even like Tony Robbins. He's like, well, we've helped feed I don't know how many million of people. Next year, we're going to help double that. We're going to feed 2 million people. It's like, well, Tony, invest that money in, upgrading their economies. Go help teach their children better and so on like that, rather than providing them food, or do the both. Why not do both? And their economies can go higher and higher and be awakened. You'll actually feel a lot better for yourself as well. Okay. And that's just one person, but there's so many other people that do that. Again, you're doing it because you're empty on the inside, and you want to help. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but those people who want to help, how many of you, not maybe at a philanthropic level helping tens of thousands of individuals, but at an individual level, how many of you who have helped people get sick and tired of helping people after a while? Seriously, how many of you have done that, right? What happens? It's like that person that you're helping starts to become weaker and weaker. They start to depend on you. They start to go, I need more. We need more. We need more, right? It's not working. So multiply that by 7.8 billion people trying to help people. And what do we have? We have fucking chaos. And that chaos is costing us. That's what's happening to us. Okay. Again, it's not because we're helping those individuals that are, say, less fortunate than us. And are they less fortunate? They were more awakened than the people here in the US. They actually loved the things that they had. Over here, you could give your kids whatever, something, and it's like, ah, shit, that's not good enough. It's not the latest model, mom. How many times have you heard that? Especially Christmas coming up, you know? I want to get back to the gratefulness. Gratefulness, I hate that word. Gratefulness is like a big fucking anchor around your neck. Okay? You better be grateful for what you have, right? You should be grateful for what I've done for you. Basically, you're signing a contract, right? Because basically, it's like, I did X for you without your permission, or even without your asking me to do X. And now you owe me for it. You owe me for the rest of your life. How many parents have done that to their kids? Or how many of you have had parents like that? Basically, that's what we're doing when we're doing philanthropic experiments. It's like, gosh, that country, we did so much. That's what the US does, by the way. Hey, we helped you out. Now you owe us. That's what they did to Afghanistan, by the way. Kind of a personal subject, but the US went in, helped them, basically destroyed their economy. And now it's like we owe them. And then they get uranium and all the riches that are in that country for basically free. They brought in their own banking systems. Again, I'm getting off the track, but again, is that really helping them? No, it's literally putting their foot on that country's throat. That's what they're doing. That's what we're doing when we're doing philanthropic. How to do it right? Again, the way our group did it. The way our group did it is that we came in. Wow. We came in. I'll wrap it up and then I'll scan you guys. We came in. We woke up. We were awakened individuals. We came in and we started to, say, plant the seed of potentiality in people. Okay, not destroy that seed. We started to, because we were complete ourselves. We didn't need, obviously, we expanded. We felt the love and stuff, which is fantastic. But again, we didn't need that aspect of it. Okay, we were blessed, and then we got blessed more. But the key is that when you're going in to help people, you go in and go, hey, you know what? You might be at this level that you're at, but you remind them that we're just the same. You just forgot who you were. And when you're giving a handout, when you're donating somebody, somebody who's walking on the street, when I give them money and all that, I'm not messing them up, because in that frequency of who I am, they start to see the spark, and you can literally see the people. I've gone to Paris or London, or even here in the US. You give them that handout, they look in your eyes and they go, thank you. And my eyes say, hey, you know what? You're the same as me. You're no different, dude. Wake up. Wake up from whatever you think you're at. Wake up from that paradigm. And that's when they start to literally change. And I've seen them change, by the way. I talked at a homeless shelter in LA. I forgot what it was called. Fefe. I always depend on Faye. Uh, Skid Row. Thank you. Skid Row. And, I gave a talk. I worked on individuals. And this is from real experience. The guy that ran that place, the way he was running it, again, that's the best. He was the most beautiful man. He quit after 4 or 5, 6 months. He did some other, say some other job that actually did help people from an XI perspective. There was like 4 or 5 people, from what I heard, they had lost their jobs, or their wives, they got divorced, and their life fell apart, and that's why they were on Skid Row. Those individuals, they weren't there anymore. They reclaimed their life. That's the level that you want to do. Okay, that's the level that you want to do it at, when you can actually say, be at a frequency level, and that's the exchange that you're giving. The money and the food and all that, that's totally fine. But when you're giving that exchange, the frequency that is in the money, okay, that is in your speech, that is in the food that you're giving them, say, allows them to awaken. And it's like, whoa. And that's real nutrition, by the way. Okay. The nutrition that we have here is an indication of the spiritual awakening of our society. That's why the foods here in the US are depleted of everything. That's why we have to take so many vitamins and so on like that. All right, guys. So we learned a lot. Hopefully, we learned a lot. Why the rich are no better than the poor. Again, people go, well, if I can leave all my wealth behind, I'm gonna go be poor, live in a van somewhere in the desert. Fucking doesn't work either, because again, you're sacrificing yourself for one or the other. You should have all that abundance, right? In the right way. Oh, and the last key here is that you need to flip it around. You need to understand who you are at a higher level. Most people, what they do is that, I'm going to go search for wealth or success, and then I'll find myself. Wealth and success will never, say, satisfy you in that way. What you do, and that's what we do at XI. Again, how many of you have seen that? What we do is, like, we pull out the grandness of who you are. Wealth and success naturally gravitate to you. That's the secret, guys. I just gave you the secret to life, basically. Again, understand who you are at a highest level that you can. Wealth and success will gravitate towards you. Health will gravitate towards you. Love will gravitate towards you. That will create a strong foundation. You find yourself at a higher level more, and then more and more. So, all right. I just want to thank all those individuals again that we were in a group. If you ever get a chance, when we might go out again. So if you're interested to go out and help us in the proper way, we might have more trips coming up. So, okay. All right. Let's jump into scanning people. But before we do, a couple things coming up. Frequency Spa coming up on tomorrow. So what the Frequency Spa is about, we've literally, through decades of research and working on hundreds of thousands of clients with amazing success, and comment in on how many of you feel a lot younger, reversed aged, and not aging like your parents, right? With doing XI. Okay. So that's coming up tomorrow. We leave it open to see what the group needs. So whenever the group is about, that's the frequencies that I'll generate for you. Okay. Personal deprogramming coming up. It's on entitlement. That's December 29th. That's December 29th for you. Again, it's a really, if you really enjoyed this talk, you might want to connect with the entitlement to get rid of that gratitude and get rid of all that sense of entitlement that we think we have, that literally are shackles around us. Okay. And then the Great Divide, Part 1, Death, December 30th. What a fantastic way to end this crazy ass year, right? Crazy stuff coming up. Might as well get rid of it at a much deeper level. So that the Great Divide Part 1 is going to be on December 30th coming up for you. And then the Great Divide Part 2 is the Rebirth, which is January 8th, which is going to be really exciting as well. That's where it's not about a fresh start as far as success and all that, although you get all that. It's about a fresh start of your, say, literally your encoding, your code, your master blueprint of the brilliance that you are, opening that up. All right. So that's coming up for you. All righty. Let's move on to, we'll scan people here. Just give me 1 second. Got to read this disclaimer. All right. As we scan, guys, it's Sajady with Exponential Intelligence, December 11th, 2022. Kind of crazy. Fast a year went by. Not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. So if I do give you, say, medical, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm just telling you what I see in your, say, physical system. So again, consult a professional. If you ask to be scanned today, you are agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want to be scanned, we've got private sessions. Okay, so don't ask to be scanned. Simple as that. Okay, because we're not going to go through and edit this content for you. Okay, so again, private sessions are the way to go if you don't want to be scanned personally. And besides, I don't know your name. I don't talk about your name or anything like that. You can change your name on there. All contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. Okay. Alrighty. So one thing too about that, guys, there's a lot of people copying us. So if you see some other websites that are, say, selling our products and so on like that, please tell us. Because it's not, well, one, it's not right. Two, it doesn't have the right frequency, because literally they pirated our content and are selling it for their purpose, and we don't even know about it. So again, it's the frequency underneath it that's there for us. All right, so this one, Bree, can you scan my son with chronic fatigue issues with MTHFR gene? Much thanks. I don't know what the MTHFR gene, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I can scan your son. So Bree, no offense, your son is really burdened by you and and again, you could be a loving mom and all that stuff. I'm not saying you're not, but you hold on to so much burden from your family. Okay. And again, you might not like what I talk about, but I get results for people because I just go to the first principle. So again, if it offends you, I'm sorry, but that's just what I see, right? We have to look at again the issue at hand. So there's a lot of baggage in your family between you and your husband as well, right? There's a lot of remorse, a lot of I wish I could have, I wish I should have, and all that kind of stuff. Those kind of patterns. It's really messed up your son from the beginning. So he gets, say, disoriented in space and time. He doesn't feel safe in his environment to grow and expand. Because he doesn't feel safe in his environment to grow and expand, he starts to go to, say, other realities, but he can't. Okay? They start to escape, right? So basically, when I see your son, he's literally a closet type person. He doesn't want to connect with anybody because he might be too afraid of going out and getting more, say, bullshit on him. He's very highly intelligent and so on like that. But what happens is that, again, I'm not claiming I can cure anybody. But what I do claim is I help you awaken your natural, or activate your natural healing possibilities for you. Western medicine can't even say that. right? So again, I don't claim to cure you. They shouldn't claim to cure you, because it's not about, the medicines they give you. It's about, say, your frequency to awaken, and that's what we do best here at XI. So Bree, take a deep breath in. I would suggest some sessions for you. Again, we've dumped so much stuff on our kids that our kids get all these strange, diseases, and we don't know. The doctors don't know what the fuck is going on. Okay, there's case after case. My son, he brings home his friends. And so on like that, and I see him, and it's like, oh yeah, my mom took me to the psychologist to figure out what's wrong with me, and I'm going, whoa, there's nothing wrong with you, hon. You're just carrying the stress load of your parents. Your parents are in their 40s and 50s, for example. The kids are in their teens, early, late teens. And it's like the stress of that adult on, and those kids can feel it. They can experience it. Right. So what happens? They can't carry the load. They can't carry the load. Parents, same thing. This is what. How have you seen the latest helper animals, right? Or emotional stress dogs or stuff like that? You've got so much baggage. I'm not talking about you, Bree, but other people. You've got so much baggage on you that you need emotional support, and you can see that dog is just sick, basically with the same illnesses that person who has that emotional support dog, right? So that's what you're dumping onto your dogs. Parents dump that onto their kids. Societies dump on that to their kids. The burden, not just financial burdens or anything like that, of how much we owe. That's a big ass debt. But then all the other burdens that we didn't figure out how to get rid of. That's a lot of trash that should be recycled frequency wise or genetic wise, but we don't. We just hand it off to our kids because we don't know how to recycle properly. XI is literally about recycling, getting rid of all that shit that's in your genetic pattern. Oh, also for you, Bree, your son is really sensitive to. He's again, I'm not. I could be way off. Some people call me a crazy man. I could be way off. Very sensitive to sugars and GMOs. It messes up with his gene structure. It's almost like, I don't know if he took the vaccine or even if he had COVID, it kind of messed his communication up. So he might have gotten worse if he did have COVID or was around people who had COVID, because again, he's very sensitive, he's very empathic. So it messes him up more. And then I see a lot of sludge around his nervous system. So, so a lot of yeast and so on like that. So again, I would put them on a diet that cleans them out of yeast. And there's particles of mold I see in him as well. And I think you might have, that's what it is. Back in the day, not only the stress, but I think you lived in a moldy place. And it took over, and it kind of, mold is really insidious because it starts to modify your genetics. So anyway, that's what I see for you. I could be way off. Okay. This is Jacqueline. Would love a scan, please. Jacqueline, for you, it seems like whatever you've done with XI, you've done a great job. You've started to see the possibilities for you. You're that. And again, if I read you guys, if I scan you, please comment in. I know I'm accurate, but it's good for you. One, for those up and coming XIers, where it's like, gosh, where did Moss get that knowledge? Where did he tap into it? So it allows the possibilities for you to connect to. And then two, it confirms. So those people who don't believe can go, shit, the guy was accurate. How did that happen? Right. Anyway, where was it? Jocelyn would love us. Yeah. So for you, Jocelyn, again, you've done XI, what you've done, and you're kind of a preparer. You want to get all your ducks in a row before you go forward. Right. So this year for you, or these next coming weeks, is all about getting your ducks in a row, getting ready so you can start a new life. I see a new chapter, not a new chapter. Fuck that. We're just going to throw the whole book away and then just start a fresh new book for you. How's that? You don't need all the other stuff behind you. So this is where you're getting rid of stuff, whether it's relationships or anything like that, or even cleaning out your closet, or even say moving cleaning up your house, or yeah, moving. I see you moving as well. That's an indication when you move or you want to move. That's an indication where you can literally start, a brand new identity of who you are. Okay, so I suggest that you observe yourself and not fall into, say, your old patterns. Okay, really nice job. Congratulations there, hon. Um this is Vola Rad. Please scan my family before the holidays. I appreciate for your feedback. Sure. So Vola, you're actually, you're that person that wants to fix the family because you are moving to a higher level again through XI. Yeah, you're moving to a higher level, but then you still have the family baggage and you don't know what to do with the baggage. So basically, it's like, hey, can Moss fix my family so they're at the higher level so I don't have to go through the pain or the process of like disconnecting from them? That's what you're doing, Ebola. So a better way of doing that, sure, I can help you, scan your family and so on, but it's all about you. Literally, it's all about you. For you, like you would be in a relationship and it's like it should have been ended like years ago, but you just don't know how to tell the person. So you'll just hang on for years until finally something happens to break. Simple as that. So number one for you, Ola, you've gained a lot of confidence. So after this mini session, because I'm not just scanning you, I'm just literally I'm just helping you redefine or rewire your brain, your genetics. So after this session, you're going to get into, say, situations where you're going to have to speak up. Speak your mind. That part I can't do for you. There's two ways you can go. You're going, there's a fork in the road for you, Lola. Okay, one, you can keep going straight on the direction that you're going, again with XI. That's really key. Or what'll happen is, and this is what happens when people get fucked up, with XI, because they don't confirm their deletions. They're going straight. Like their path was here. Now their path is aligned. They're ascending higher and higher. And then to get to the next level, they have to let go of their garbage. So where you are, Vola, is that you need to let go of your garbage. You need to speak up. You need to be confident. You need to, again, um, display the confidence, the completeness, that assuredness, the creativity, the intelligence that you've always hidden in the past. Okay, so you're coming to that fork in the road, and you're deciding, should I go that way, or should guilt pull me over? And what you're doing is like, well, shit, I'll have just Moss pull my family so we can all go together. It doesn't work that way. You can only do it for yourself. But for you, when you wake up and confirm and disconnect from the family, which you will, through the holidays, and that's what you're afraid of, you're going to see that you're so different, and you go, shit, I'm going this way. I'm not going to go back to my old self. Once you confirm, and then there are family members that will start gravitating towards you. Okay, so that's where you are. So it's a nice job. So again, gain the confidence, do something physical, to confirm all the changes that you've done. Otherwise, if you don't speak up, if you don't change your habits and so on like that, what'll happen is that you'll start to cycle backwards, and it's like a crash. You can always I can always pull you back up, but why go through that crash? Just speak a bit, okay? Alrighty. Shall see, how do we clean mold out of our system? Gosh, I don't know. There's lots of, I'm sure you can go to, I don't know. Um, I know like chlorella, charcoal. Allie, Allie, uh, the woman that did the nutrition plan for the Total Human Reset, which we're going to do, we're going to come out. That was really fucking fantastic. She might know, so you might want to connect with Allie if Allie wants to put her phone out. Or
today's Allie's birthday. Happy birthday,
today's Allie's birthday?
Yes.
Oh my God, Allie, happy birthday! If you're on the call, it seems like you're on the call, Allie. If that's the right Allie, so happy birthday, hon. So let's wish Allie happy birthday for all the things that she did. Fucking fantastic, and a Total Human Reset. So that's Total Human Reset coming up. We do it twice a year, by the way. So that's going to be huge, by the way. So there are, say, supplements, blood cleanser. I would do a blood cleanser or something like that. I'm picking up like blue spirulina. I don't know why that comes in. That could be right. Again, I'm not, but there are ways to clean out the mold in you. Ivermectin might actually work out. You didn't hear it from me though. Yeah, ivermectin clean out viruses and stuff like that. Yeah, actually, so again, you didn't hear it from me. Carolyn, throw the book away. I did throw the book away. So yes, new book for all of you. Yeah, the blue spirulina is really supposed to be good. Let's see, what dreams may come. Oh, here's one. Polydactyl choline removes mold. There you go. Thank you so much. You guys are so intelligent, guys. Thank you so much. It's all a cool family, right? And that's we tap into the mastermind, and then we get what we need. This one, XI girl, can you scan me, please? Thank you. Yeah. So for you on XI girl, for what's happening for you, take a breath in. You're finally letting go of, say, the damage type patterns or frequencies. It's almost like you would have, for some reason, you'd get ill, or for some reason, you get into situations that you would hurt yourself or damage yourself, or get into relationships where other people hurt themselves, and that kind of pattern. If that makes sense. So that kind of pattern is like, fuck, I don't need that anymore, right? I can go help people in other ways. I can define myself without that pattern of, say, hard luck, basically, right? Hard luck where you've worked your ass off to get to a certain point and you've done successful, but it's like, let's get rid of that parachute. It's like you're climbing this mountain and it's like, well, shit, I'll throw on another 100 pounds on my backpack just to make it harder for me. And you've gotten to the point with XI. It's like, you know what? You've taken, less weight out, but it's like you still have that backpack and you still might carry those burdens. So take a breath in, and then what we're going to do for you on the XI girl is like, let's take the backpack off. Okay. And then you can't carry, because there's no way to carry anybody's weight, including yours. So you're just free. And it'll feel really freeing and expansive. This is where you might feel cold towards people and so on. You're really not. You're just like operating at a higher frequency. And then what you do to help people is like, hey, look, I'm running at this frequency. You can run at this frequency as well. So you're not carrying a damage frequency, which is really nice. In guys, we burn bridges. People go, never burn your bridges. No, fucking burn your bridges. Okay, burn your bridges. That way, there's no way back. All you can do is go forward. Simple as that. Go forward, right? You can't go back to your old self. You keep burning those bridges day after day. Keep burning your old self. Minute by minute, keep burning your old self. Okay, you can't go back. You got to do something else. This one is Nilo Bear. Nilo Bear 135. Please scan and help my aunt cross over properly. Lost her this morning. Sure. Nilo Bear. Sure. It's always sad when people cross over, but let's just do a massive crossing over, because there's going to be a lot of people crossing over, unfortunately, towards the end of the year. Take a breath in, and who knows, it could be because of the vaccines and all this other stuff, or it could just be a time that people cross over. Again, it is a great divide. So your aunt is still stuck in this lower level. I kind of see her. It's interesting. Her life didn't go anywhere. So it's like I see her going down this hallway, but this hallway is really short. So it's like she just goes, hits the wall, backs up, hits the wall, backs up, hits the wall. Basically, that's her whole life. She never went anywhere. She just kept hitting this wall, something that she never, say, could knock down. So, yeah. Anyway, sad. Breath in. So let's wake her up. And then for those individuals who, have loved ones, and then for you as well, your old self could die off. But help them start to say, it allows you, Nilo Bear, to go, shit, you know what? My life is kind of like that too. It's just that you have a longer hallway Hers was short. She'd go back and forth. For you to have a longer hallway where it's like boom, 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 it's like, ah, fuck. And then you go the other way, boom, boom, boom. And then, but again, there are blocks on both sides. What you've managed to do through XI, though, is create a long ass hallway. This time, why don't we just knock it down for you? Take advantage of your aunt's crossing or awakening. Okay, we'll help her awaken. So what that means, it's not like we're taking advantage of her. We're just taking advantage of the opportunity, which is going to help your aunt. It's going to help you. It's going to help society, right? So it's a good thing. Breath in. I say that because it's like, take advantage. It's like, no, I'm not. I don't want to take advantage of anybody. It's like, that's what they're there for. You don't take advantage of them in a perverse way. You take advantage of the opportunities. That's why you're connected with people, so you can go higher, so you can learn something about them, right? You can learn from their mistakes. It's taking advantage of what they've done or what they fucked up on, so you can go higher. It awakens them, it awakens you. So as your aunt, again, is crossing over, let's wake her up. Help her cross over. Just give me a minute. 1, 2. And then for other people, just think of your loved ones who have died recently. Oh, I see a lot of people who've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About a dozen people who've had somebody commit suicide within the past few months or recently. Comment in on those individuals. Oh boy. Yeah, comment in if your loved one or somebody you knew committed suicide. I see about 12 of you. Again, we can use that to, one, disconnect, because when you commit suicide, guys, it's not a good thing. What happens is that last moment of death, okay, the last minute, let's just say, of death, you disconnect from. They cross over. You cross over and you recycle that last moment because you're in a no time space. So that last minute extends for eternity. Simple as that. Breath in. Whoa, didn't know we were going to go so deep, but there we go. Your aunt will, there we go. She wants to go, she's showing me her shoes. She had some favorite shoes. Oh, she was all ready to go to a dance or something. And it's like her boyfriend stood her up and she had bought these pair of shoes and she would look so pretty. And it's like, she got stood up and it's like, then she hated those shoes. Anyway, she's showing me these shoes. So somehow maybe you'll see some shoes or whatever. Yeah, it's not like she's going to send you some shoes, but there's going to be shoes. I don't know. It's of importance for her. So you'll see shoes or you'll get a pair of shoes or whatever. But those shoes are, say, blessed by your aunt. And it's like you wear those shoes and it like enlivens you because it has that frequency of awakening. By the way, this is what I was talking about when you're handing out your food or money or change or help. Okay, exact same thing. This is the kind of help or philanthropy that you want to do. Your frequency is so high, it's embedded in whatever that you get from that person. So for you, it'll like pull you up to that confident state. Okay, which is really cool. But you shouldn't rely just on those shoes. Once you get into that confident state, those were just tools. And then you go, how do I stay at this level? So you don't need the shoes forever. Get it? So your aunt is going to gift you some special shoes. So take a breath in. And then your aunt is going to go and dance. The dance that she never, she's missed a lot out on life. But anyway, she's going to go out and dance from what I'm seeing. A blue dress as well. So anyway, that was interesting. How do you guys feel after that? Especially those who had suicidal type patterns. Anybody here? Oh, sister suicide. Yep. Many suicides, honorable suicides. Honorable suicides is basically, you get cancer or some kind of disease. Working with a very cool friend of mine, highly intelligent. We'll bring him on some of the podcast interviews. He does a lot of research and again, cancers and so on like that. There's always an underlying, say, disconnect on why. He's got really good information. So we're working with him. Really cool. My mom's best friend. Yep. A lot of people. Again, what about assisted suicide? My friend did that who had cancer. Um, I assisted suicide. Well, that like when you get cancer? That is that what you're talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. A friend's son. Yep. Um, Marianne, hi Moss, please scan if my partner is willing to work with you. He has difficulties moving forward. Well, Marianne, the best way for him to work with me, okay, is that you shouldn't wait where you are because that's what you're doing. Your whole life, you're kind of like waiting. It's like, well, I want to wait for X, Y, or Z, or all three of them before I go forward with my life. I'm going to wait for mom. I don't know. Seems like your mom, or it could be your dad, a feminine frequency. It's like, well, I'll wait till I take care of mom and then I'll start my life. When you were younger, I'll wait for X before I go there. Now you're waiting for your partner before you go forward. So for you, Marianne, it's like, okay, don't worry about it. Just go forward. You don't have to wait for anybody, okay? Because you miss out on a lot of parties and all that stuff. And then when you're there and you're dragging someone behind, it's like shit, it's no fun, right? So for you, on your lesson or your disconnect or your pattern that you need to disconnect with is waiting for people, okay? That pattern is again, I'm helping you disconnect from it. Take a breath in, just notice your solar plex. It's almost like you got a rope there and it's pulling you back. There you go. So basically, you're going forward and then you go to a certain point and you get pulled back as well. So anyway, I'm disconnecting you because you're at a level and that's all you needed. Really, this little frequency boost or adjust. So it's like shit. You know what? You're not going to care whether he goes forward or not. You're just going to do the best version that you can. I'm not saying you're going to break up with him or anything like that. But when you go forward, he has a better chance to awaken. It's like shit. I'm missing out on this, beautiful, gorgeous woman. I better, that. By the way, that's your partner. If he's always missing out on something, he'll kick himself in the ass to wake up and do it. So. My best friend passed from honorable suicide. He helped her cross over. Thank you. Also, my brother who went missing had a drug overdose. Yep. So, Elizabeth, you've helped my family, and I heal so much. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. You writing that comment basically is like a signature, which is beautiful. It's just like a signature that you signed. It's not a contract, but it's like, yep, I'm through with that type of, say, family genetics. So if you have kids, for example, I think that you do, they wouldn't have to. And again, this is just this is my theory. Once you clean up at that deep level, Elizabeth, what happens is that, and again, you're signing by writing that note. It's like, yep, I'm completely done with that pattern. So I'm helping you like peel that off your back. By the way, I think in your family, your back starts to curve, right? That's part of the burdens of what you just talked about, peeling that so your back stays straight as you age. Okay. Or something with your bones as well. You kind of shrink. So anyway, moving that away. But what I was trying to say, like, if you have especially younger kids and you clean your genetics up, because that's what we need to do. That's the garbage that we keep dumping on our generations. What you want to do is you clean that up, and then your kids don't have to carry that in their genetics as well. So really nice job, really beautiful job. This one, I confirm the deletion of waiting for my family. Perfect. One last scan, guys. Would you help my dad press crossover? I did a group say crossing over. So you literally will probably, whoever this Ohana, yeah, you probably feel like a breakdown because you're gonna go through the mourning process properly, and then properly bury those old patterns that aren't beneficial for you. So this one, I am. Can you please scan my upper back and neck area? How are they looking? It seems like you're more aware of the patterns that you're running. Yeah, you're more aware of the patterns that you're running, and you're starting to observe what's you and what's not you. And it's not just like body issues and so on like that. It's where relationship issues, psychological issues. I see a lot of psychological type issues in your family. Depression, anxiety, or later on maybe Alzheimer's, of that nature. Anyway, you're starting to look at that package as you're aging, and you're at a level with XI. It's like, I don't need that stuff. So that's part of your back. That's the burdens, basically, that you're carrying in the tissues of your body at a cellular level, and you're actually starting to release that for you. Okay. There's I don't know if you're taking a medication or you were taking it like a prescription medication. It really tightened up your nerves. I would stay away from GMO, especially sugars, for you as well, just because you're cleaning out. So you don't want to put junk in your body. So that'll help you out as well. And then also, again, these are all suggestions. Massage the lymph nodes around you. In this area for you, especially armpits and so on like that, it'll really start to release, or do some vigorous activity for you. You need to get your blood flowing, and that'll really start to start the process or initiate the process of youthfulness for you, because that's what you're headed toward. So if you're going to go see your family through the holidays, you're going to go, gosh, I don't want to age like that. I don't want to look like that. I don't want to, you're going to see all those things that you might have inside that is, and as you say that, all of you guys, when you go through the holidays, as you say that stuff and you notice it so real, you're basically going, you basically are commanding literally your genetics to go, I don't want to age like that. And that's what happens to you. So, all right, guys, we could go on forever, but thanks for being here. And again, a lot of good stuff. Frequency spot coming up for you guys who want to look younger. Gosh, I'm 61, getting younger every day. Many of you are doing that as well. So that's tomorrow, personal deprogramming entitlement, December 29th. And then the Great Divide is going to be a really huge event, guys, December 30th. So, all right, guys, as we end, notice what you notice and then notice the details. All right, peace.